hear you or me.
Or here's another. You just turn off the notification sound. You just turn it off. Yeah.
I'm on D&D now, so it's too late. But okay,
Okay.
next time.
We're live, by the way, and we're talking about the loud ping noise that is coming through the computer. Like, dude, it's like a singing bowl, but the wrong kind. It's so gnarly.
Bro, it's like a bullet. It's like it echoes. Like,
Oh, you're so right. It's like a ricocheted bullet off of a plate. Like,
yeah.
That's such a good. That's so true. Oh my god. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that reminds me. I want to go shoot. I miss shooting. Shooting's fun.
That should have been on my mind too. I've never done it.
You gotta go, man. There's a place up here, the place that we go shoot, that has machine gun rentals. And this birthday party of like, they had to be under 18. They could have been 18. They probably were just barely 18. And this party of like 18-year-old boys came in, and they all rented like, not like ARs. I'm talking like they rented a sentry gun, not a sentry gun. Jesus, I've been playing too much other. It's like a turret, like a straight up just like a turret cannon. I'm blanking on what the name of the actual gun is called. And then they like they were like full. He was like, okay, you're gonna empty the clip, just hold on to the trigger and don't let go, and make sure you pull down because it's gonna try to pull you up. And I watched the whole thing. I have it on film. I was like, what the. I'm not forget what I got going on. I'm gonna watch these people. Mind you, here's the craziest part. Guess how much it is per bullet. Just take a guess.
70 cents.
Actual ammo that people use, like me, like civilian ammo. That's not even that. Ammo's dumb expensive. That's why people are pissed about it. But a machine gun is much more expensive. $15 per bullet. Per bullet. That means every clip is like $300.
What the fuck? So what the fuck? So wait a minute. What the fuck? So okay. So that means these 18-year-olds are spending like 10 grand on like.
No, their parents were definitely spending it though. Their parents were there. They can't do that shit without a guardian. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's Texas. They probably could have, but they didn't have that kind of money. But I legitimately was like, okay, I would probably do it. But then I saw the price and I was like, nah. It might have been 10, but I know for sure it was double digits per bullet. I was like, that can't be correct. And then I saw it and it was like, yeah. I was
craziness.
Yeah, I mean, welcome to the world of. Anyway, I was attempting to go post and share with people so that we could do your thing, but go ahead.
I understand why military budgets are so big now.
I think that's an extremely high price. I don't think the bullets actually cost that much to. I think that they're charging a premium. I think that they could probably get them for several dollars per bullet, but yeah, I was baffled. I was like, wow, that's. I mean, if you're gonna blow money, that's one way to do it. I've blown money in dumber ways, like bottle service at a club, like that. And if I'll tell you right now, it seems so cool. Only if it's free. If it's not free and you're paying for it, it's not cool. I'm sorry. You're not cool because of the bottle service. You're cool because of the where you're standing. In my personal opinion, like I think VIP is totally worth it. Whatever you got to pay, but bottle service, $300 for a $20 bottle of vodka. You're out of your mind.
Agreed.
Have you ever done that before?
Never paid.
Never paid. Yeah, I didn't pay for a long time, and then I was like, you know what? I kind of want to give back, so I'm gonna because I knew the VIP manager at one of the Miami nightclubs, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna give back. I'm gonna actually buy a bottle this time instead of just like taking a bottle. And I was like, but I'm gonna have some help, and I had all my friends agree to go in on a bottle, like 5 people, nothing crazy. I was like, I'll spend a majority, I'll buy over half the bottle. I just want like people there, and they're like, yeah, we got it. And then the night of, literally 5 people bailed, and it was me and one other person and my wife. I was like, all right, this is great. I have a giant bottle of vodka I have to finish tonight. I'm gonna be drunk, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more of a me situation. I don't think that happens to other people, but I personally, even
I understand the feeling behind it. You know what I mean?
Even if my quote unquote friends, because we don't even, none of those people that didn't show up I don't talk to anyone anymore from that era. But yeah, it's always interesting to, in the moment, things seem so much more important than they actually are. Because in the future, you're like, that was so insignificant, and I gave it so much attention.
That's a big fact.
Yeah, man, you gotta be
You know, a
able
lot of
to.
shit like
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, high school, all of high school.
even on like day-to-day basis, there's a lot of shit like that, you know.
I think it's hard as a human being with emotions to not give some sort of attention to things in the moment and then look back and be like, wow, that was not as important as I thought it was. Because in the moment, it's a lot more important than it is in the future. For example, like if you want something really, really bad and then you get it, it may not seem as important anymore, but it's because you have it. So it's a whole new perspective that you're kind of taking on at that point. But
I feel like something that helps me in those situations is like a weird way of looking at it. But I've gotten, you know, we both have gotten tattoos, but like this one was recent, relatively, like this year, and it was probably, as far as tattoos go, the worst pain I've ever felt.
I can
Right?
imagine, dude, that's like sensitive.
Not even, but the crazy part though, it wasn't even here. It was like here. That
Well, like
was
right
painful.
behind your
Like,
ear, like right here.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 like right there. Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, there's like
yeah.
nerves right there. Phew.
Well, like he would hit it with a needle, and my left leg would shake every time. Like,
I know exactly
but
what
like
you're
it's
talking
all.
about. It goes all the way down. It's a pretty big nerve.
But I bring it up because, like, ever since I got my first tattoo, especially on this one, like I would just I revert to this phrase. Like I'm sitting there, I'm always with a girl, so I'm just holding somebody's hand, and I'm like, it's just physical pain. It's just physical pain. It's just physical pain. It's just physical. Like I just keep saying that shit to myself, right?
Okay.
Because for some reason that it takes me out of my body, and I'm like, okay, I've been through worse mentally. This ain't shit.
Mm,
You know?
okay. So wait, you're
I don't
saying
know why.
you've been through worse mentally though, but it's just physical pain. But physical pain is pretty intense, if depending on the pain. No.
Sure, but it's my only way to cope with it in that moment. Is kind of what I'm saying. Like
Okay.
it's so I use that mentality to like remove myself from the shit that doesn't matter in other moments, whether it be painful or not. I ask myself, you know, like, or I remove myself from it. It's in the same way I would by saying it's just physical pain, and then I can kind of assess what it is more reasonably, rather than being affected by it like it's a tattoo needle. You know?
Okay. That makes sense to me. I mean, not necessarily like the concept makes sense. Like I wouldn't personally use that particular phrase, but I understand it. For me, it's more about putting it in a frame of perspective and like I'm not gonna like will it away, but acknowledging it and then moving on and just kind of like being like, yeah, it's there. Because for me, if you were gonna go relate it to tattoos, I think it's last time I got a tattoo, I just kept telling the dude that was tattooing me, I was like, listen, man, this is gonna sound weird, but I want you to cut it out because it feels like it tickles and I don't want to giggle, so I'm gonna need you to cut that shit out because I was getting it on my side and he was just like, Ryan, I was like, dude, I want to punch you because it feels like you're pinching me, but also it tickles, so I need you to hurry this shit up. And he was just like, bro, I'm doing thin lines, you need to just relax. I was like, no, I know, I said it was gonna be a weird thing to say, but I'm just expressing how I feel so that I can get through it because this is annoying. I look at it as like a minor annoyance instead of like
Yeah.
a pain. I'm just like, okay, yeah, this, and it kind of goes back to what you're saying. I've been through way worse pain. Like I've clotheslined myself, and I think I told you this earlier. I clotheslined myself with my mouth open and split my tooth like in half.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that was. I also, this first time I broke it, I fell. I got pulled up onto a what was it? I pulled up onto the pool deck. Someone pulled me up on a raft because we were playing King of the Hill, and they dropped it. And my mouth was open because I was smiling because I was a happy kid. I was like, ah, and I bit the side of the pool. Gone. My teeth were gone. Yeah, but you know, it's those moments that make us stronger. Because like I said, when I look back at moments when I'm in pain, I'm like, you know, I've actually been through worse. And I haven't even been through like crazy pain. But then I feel like once you reach a certain threshold, your body is like, I got it from here, boss. And you don't feel it anymore. You go into shock or whatever it is.
Thanks. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. This is true.
Pain.
I don't know if I'm grateful. like, I guess I am grateful for shock, but like, it's funny. It's a funny thing.
Well, I mean, think about how you're born and you die, right? I mean, those moments have to be pretty intense, and you don't want to be like fully conscious and fully I don't know what the word is. Yeah, conscious would probably be the best word, because when you die and when you're born, the theory, I don't have scientific evidence behind this, but I have read about it and heard about it multiple times, is that that's where you experience natural DMT. That helps you to transition from life to death, and from like not being alive to being alive. It's kind of an intense moment to experience life all at once. So your body uses that as a coping mechanism. It just sends you into a new dimension. It's just like, yeah, you're good. That's like, I guess that could be equated to like what the white light is that people see, or like whatever that is for other people. That's
okay.
That's you having a quote unquote out of body experience, I guess. Yeah. That's naturally caused, because think about it. All the hallucinogens that you take are just playing on your body's own abilities. So like, it's not adding anything to your body, right? You're not like growing a new receptor in your brain that causes you to see hallucinations and all that stuff. So if it can happen inside of you with a drug, then it can happen inside of you naturally, or else it wouldn't exist, right? Like, why would your body have a receptor that causes you to experience some sort of a hallucination if there wasn't a purpose for it?
I don't know enough about bodily science to contradict that point.
I mean, just think about it. Like, do we have anything on us as a human being that doesn't make any sense, like serves no purpose?
Well, no, but I feel like there are certain things that serve one purpose, and then if exposed to a thing that they are not designed to be exposed to, can have another purpose.
Ah, okay. Yeah, like short circuiting something. Have you ever heard of circuit bending?
Like no.
Ooh, okay. We might want to look this up. So when you like to tinker with things, you end up taking things that make noise. For example, like a speak and spell. Do you know what a speak and spell is?
No.
Okay. So back in the day, I want to say back in the late 80s, early 90s, there was a device called a speak and spell. It was designed to help kids learn to speak and spell. Basically, it was just a keyboard that when you would type stuff out, it would say it, but it would be like S-A-M, Sam, like that kind of thing, and almost in that same voice. So what you can do is you can take the circuits, and you can take a what are they? I think that's a Dremel, or you can take a hot. I think it is a Dremel. The thing that you can a soldering tool. That's what it is. You take a soldering tool and you just like melt some of the circuit board. And you like melt pieces together basically and like cross them up. And what that causes it to do is make crazy noises. It'll be like you could type in like Rooks, it'd be like Rooks. And then you could like record that and turn that into something for music. That's just one example that I've actually seen in real life, is someone actually took a speak and spell and used it on stage, and it was circuit bent, because I watched them do it like on their tour bus, and I was like, that is wild. You can do it with Game Boys. You can do it with like, think about any old toy that makes noise on its own, like Game Boys, even like PlayStations and stuff. But any like old gadget that makes noise, you can literally open it and then just like, I think you can do it with other items, but a soldering tool is the best tool I think that exists.
The speak and spell idea is fire, though. I'm not gonna lie. If I was a DJ, that would be some shit.
Shout out Deadmau5 for that one. Deadmau5 did that. I didn't see him do it like person to person. I saw him do it in a video, but I was like, wow, that's a genius idea. I love that. But yeah, I mean, that's just one example of having fun, like making music in an unconventional way to kind of shake things up. I think it's easy as any type of musician to get kind of stuck in your ways, because you do the same thing so often, especially if you're an instrument type artist where you only play one instrument. I feel like it can seem pretty repetitive. But if you add stuff like a looper pedal, for example, if you're a guitarist and you add a looper pedal, boom, you just open up an entire world of fun. And then add a mix, an effects pedal, game over. You know, that kind of thing.
Do you feel that, because I have my own opinion, but I'm curious what yours is, as far as like, you say playing instruments, would you consider people that only use their voice the same?
The voice is an instrument. It's one of the most advanced instruments there are.
Right. I agree with that. So do you feel like that same threshold applies to people who only use their voice? Or maybe less, or maybe more?
No, I think it's exactly identical, and I can give you an example of how someone would take their voice and elevate it. Two perfect examples. One is Beardy Man, and two is Reggie Watts.
Okay.
So Beardy Man is a beatboxer, legendary beatboxer, and he has what I was just talking about. He has a looper, and then he has this oscillating pad, which he can basically take his voice and put the pitch up at the same time as warping it. So it'll add all these crazy like echoes and stuff, and then he can throw reverb and effects pedals on it, and he makes music out of it. But then Reggie Watts, same thing, and they've actually collabed before. They're pretty close in their niches. He does the same thing. However, he's not a beatboxer. He's a comedian, and he does comedy while doing music. He'd be like, yeah, so the other day I was walking through the store and then I saw a tomato. It was like tomato, tomato, and then he would like turn it into music. And then
I think I've seen him. I think I've seen not in person, but I've heard of and seen videos.
He's so good. Yeah, he's got like a big fro most of the time, and I think he has a show where he's like a guest on a show or something like that. He's in and out of obscure comedy shows.
Gotcha. I remember watching a guy. I don't think it was Reggie Watts. It was a white guy, but he was like playing guitar and making like he was like basically serenading.
Mm-hmm.
I think the girls in the crowd, but he was like, he's a comedian, right? So he's like using the serenade to talk about how, like, I'm trying to remember exactly, but basically like all the guys that had looked at her on her way to her seat, and he was like trying to tell her husband about all these guys. And, like,
oh my god, yeah. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. I haven't seen that, but I like you describing it. That's a really good like type of comedy. I love that. I really enjoy when someone can be able to not only be good with their voice and an instrument, but also be funny and use them together, because I think that, so for example, Bo Burnham, I think he's a really good example of that, along with Reggie Watts, on how you can be musical and use comedy. And then if you like zoom out, I think that's a really good example of how you can be more than just one thing and still be yourself. So if you want to, you don't have to pick one. Like, I'm sure many people in either of those two examples, someone said, do music or do comedy, not both.
There's always like who don't let me forget this guy's name. The older guy, I think he's dead now. He played baseball and football, like not Michael Jordan.
Okay, I was about to be like Michael Jordan. He played basketball and baseball.
There was somebody who was like really good at both sports. Mike wasn't the best at baseball.
I have another example like that, but it's not modern. It's not normal sports. It's board sports. It's like Shaun White. Like, he's good at snowboarding and skateboarding, for example.
Okay, that's a good example. But basically, like, as far as creatives go, as in that regard, I look at Jamie Foxx as like a really good.
Yeah, that's a good example too.
To me, that's like the legacy I want to have. As far as, like, that's the closest thing to the legacy I want to have on the creative industry is Jamie Foxx.
I think that suits your genre. I think like your personality fits. I can see that. Not just Jamie Foxx, but I think that's a good example to kind of communicate the level of impact that you'd like to have.
Yeah, I appreciate that one. I don't think I've ever said that before, but like, I just thought about Jamie. I was like, that's the direction I'm, shooting at.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I really enjoy that. I think it's important to explore multiple avenues, and if you can combine them, great. I don't think it always works, but if you're creative, I think you'll figure it out.
Yeah. Who did they call the great improviser?
What's that?
They call a whole bunch of people that shit.
I've never heard that before. Great improviser? That sounds like a improv group.
Sounds like a what?
An improv group? They do improv comedy. You shout out a word and they have to like do a skit about it. You've never been to one of those?
I've definitely, bro. I've sat in. Okay, look. So here I have a story. So I'm at my college. I'm at my college campus, right? I'm there late because I have this. This is like my freshman year. I have a 6 p.m. class. It was on a Wednesday, and I had like forgotten that it got canceled one day. So I'm just there, and I'm in the class. I'm in the class for no reason. It's 6 p.m. at night at my college campus, and I'm just chilling. Right? I'm like, all right. I had work to do anyways. Had nothing to do with school. I was gonna do it in this class anyways. Fuck it. I'm gonna bust my computer out. Let me sit here and do it. I'm in this class by myself. Right. The lights go off. They're motion detected lights, and I'm sitting working. So I'm not even doing that. I'm sitting in the dark like a creep doing my shit. Right.
Love the scene so far.
Right. All of a sudden. Yeah, this memory is so vivid. All of a sudden, the improv group busts into class, right?
No.
Lights come on. I'm just there like a creep like this. Like, and I'm like, hey.
What's up, guys?
And they're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, working. And I'm like, what are you guys doing here? And they're like, well, we have an improv meeting, but, you know, don't feel interrupted. I'm like, oh, I don't. Have fun.
Do you
So I
say?
just right? So I keep doing my thing. And I look up, and these motherfuckers they're crabs now. And they're, like, pretending to be credit cards and, like, jumping into each other's arms, trying to swipe each other. All types of shit.
Oh, that was good. So how did that end? I have to know. Did you just like get up?
Wonderful. I stopped. No, but I literally watched their whole meeting.
That's so good. Oh my god. I'm so happy that you did that.
I was so entertained. It was hilarious. They were doing like I'm trying to remember the funniest thing they did. One of them, I don't know how they got here, but one of them was like they were playing like a corn farming family.
Okay.
With the daughter that hated the father, and like there was a whole bunch of like corn in the field, right? So she goes out with like a poison syringe, and like injects every kernel of corn with poison. Not just like,
cob, every single kernel,
but literally every single kernel in every.
Yo, what did they do the whole thing? Just like
yes, he said. Bro,
I'm gonna kill you.
The room was quiet. She's like this. She's walking around like this.
Oh, that's too good. See, that's the I have so much respect for people like that can just like be that kind of person. I can't keep character that long. That's so epic. Hell yeah.
That's a great memory.
It's a good one to have. My memory of going to class late and then like no, it wasn't the same. I ended up smashing my phone because I was skating home and I hit a pothole and I flew off my skateboard and like my hands were bloody and my pocket was in my front. I was like, bro, no. Not only was I studying for an exam that I absolutely was like not looking forward to, then I had to like hurt myself. I was like, all right, I'm going out. That's
what they call insult to injury to bullshit.
I literally said that. I was like, I think this is the prime example of insult to injury because I'm actually injured and I also broke my phone. Like pulling the phone out, that was the insult. It was just like, how dare you? Dude, talking about phones, I have a really funny example or story. I said example, a really funny story about my phone. Okay, so a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I used to be really bad with my phones. And so much so where I got kicked off of my insurance plan. They literally said, you're done. You can't have any more phones. We don't care what you pay us. You're not getting any more. Because I went through like 4 in 3 months. They were like, no.
Jesus.
Yeah, well, I had a deductible, but anyway, within the first 72 hours of having my first iPhone, I jumped into a pool with it. I was so pissed. I did it to save a hula hoop that was waterproof, but it was LED, and I threw it in the air, and it was going into the pool, and I forgot I had my phone in my pocket, and I was like, oh no, I can't let this like expensive hula hoop go into the pool, and I pulled it out, and I was like, here, I know how expensive they are. She was like, this isn't an expensive one. I was like, I'm just gonna leave now. This is not for me. I'm so pissed. But that's not the funny story. The funny story is I went to Islands of Adventure in Florida. When I lived in Florida, and I was telling myself I'm gonna keep my phone in my pocket all day, and I did. Okay. I did. I was so happy. Every roller coaster we rode, every water ride, I had my phone in my pocket because I was persistent, and I said I didn't want to put it in a locker. I wanted it on my person. I don't know. It was just a thing I had. So we go and we ride the Hulk, and if you know anything about the Hulk, you like shoot out of this tube. And it's at like from 0 to like 60 and I think 2.3 seconds. And then you spin. And I was about to walk out of the park and I was like, let's go ride the Hulk one more time. And we did. And on that spin, man, I watched my phone go whoop, 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 and it was gone. Until I get off the ride and I'm like, dude, there's a net right under this thing for that reason, and they collect those phones. I'm gonna get that phone. And I get off the ride and someone's like, hey, did you just lose your phone? I was like, yes. They go, your phone fell in my drink. I have it over here. I was like, no way. They were like, yeah, we were literally sitting there. It bounced off of the roof and went into my drink, and I grabbed it out, and I have it. Come back. And I was like, no way. And he goes, it's a Galaxy, right? I go, yeah, it is. I go and I follow him back, and he pulls it out. Not my phone. I was like, son of a bitch. It wasn't my phone. And I was like,
that's hilarious.
It was someone else's phone that was on the same ride, apparently. I was like, okay. So I call the phone. It's still ringing, which means it's not in the water because there was water under the ride. That was the part where I was like, okay, if it rings, I still have my phone. If it doesn't ring, I don't. So I called it, and then I called it like 4 more times. And on the 5th time I called it, gone. So what ended up happening was I called it off the net and into the water.
Are you kidding?
No.
Oh my god, bro.
And then I had to drive home and explain to my mom why I lost another phone.
Oh my god, I'd be so upset. Oh my god.
That was my phone. I had everything on it, man. All my contacts, all my pictures, everything.
Bro, you called it off the net. That's so funny.
Yeah, it was a good time though. I mean, I had a lot of funny experiences like that where I was just like, bro, my life just is. One time, and then I'm gonna switch gears. One time this just popped in my head of one of those moments where you're like, this is not happening, but in a funny way. So we go to my friend's house in Tampa, and we're driving, and my car at the time was a stick shift, and we're there, and my friend is fighting with his girlfriend, and they're like, all right, bro, we gotta go. And I'm like, dude, it's like 2 a.m. I'm not leaving to go back to like Cocoa Beach, which is literally like an hour and a half, or no, 3.5 hours from Tampa. I'm like, we're not doing that. I'm not driving 3.5 hours at 2 a.m. You can wait, stop fighting with your girlfriend and go away. And anyway, he convinces me to leave. So we're leaving. We get like 30 minutes away, and he's like, bro, turn around. And I'm like, why? He's like, I gotta go talk to her. I'm like, oh my God, dude, I'm gonna kill you. You just spent so much time convincing me to leave, and we're 30 minutes away. You want me to turn around? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, I'm only turning around because I can't drive anymore and I need to sleep. So we went back, and then we're just about to go to sleep. It's like 4 a.m. And I'm like, I got to go to my car to get something. I go to my car. All right, I start to walk to my car, and there's this random ass car sitting in the middle of the parking lot, blocking the only one-way road into the place. And I'm like, who does that with their car? Who parked their car like that? Like, that's such a dick move. So I go up to the car, and I'm like talking all this shit. It was my car. My car wasn't it didn't have the e-brake up, and it was in neutral, and it rolled back and blocked the only way into that parking lot for like 3 hours. Dude, I was like, wow.
it was a theme song to your life, I feel like it would just say Florida Man.
Dude, that's all the time, man. That I can't tell you. I can't. There's a lot more things that happen that I can't say on recording, but I swear, man, Florida just turns it up. I don't know what it is. I can't even get close to that in Texas, and I'm glad. But man, in Florida, all you gotta do is leave your house after 10 p.m. and good luck.
Florida Man.
Florida Man. He drives an airboat. He wrestles alligators. Florida Man. Yeah, I love it, man. I love being a Florida man. You obviously know about the putting your birthday and putting Florida Man, and it comes up with a article because something always happens with the title Florida Man in it.
No, I'm doing it right now.
Oh my gosh, it's so good here. I'm gonna do it. I forgot what incident happened with mine. Florida Man, and then my birthday. You can even do the day you were born if you want, like the year or not the day, the year you're. Well, yeah, it would be the day too. The year you're born. I think it goes. Yep.
Let me see.
Oh man, this is a good one. What'd you find? Did you find it yet or no?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna. No, you're good. I'm gonna pull up when I find it.
There we go.
Oh, this is a good one. Even the cops are stunned by this Florida man's latest stunt. But do you find one?
Yeah, go ahead. What's yours?
Okay, it's another. Excuse me. It's one thing to shoplift. It's another to shoplift in a store absolutely loaded with police. That's what Florida man Brian decided to do during local Walmart Shop with a Cop event, in which dozens of law enforcement officials, including the county sheriff, were on hand for the annual event with children. We're not sure what Brian shoplifted, but what we do know is that he was rather inconveniently. We do know that rather inconveniently for him, he had a meth pipe in his possession when he was arrested. He literally tried to steal from Walmart while they were doing a shopping event with cops. This is great. Love it. And that was on my birthday. What was it?
Mine is a little more gruesome.
I'm sure. Mine was very, very mild.
Deputies were called to 74-year-old Gary Van Rice's home located on Orday Road in Sebring on Sunday, August 18th. My birthday is the 21st. When they arrived, Rice told a deputy he had just performed a castration on a man and encountered major issues. Deputies found a victim on a bed bleeding heavily with a towel.
Oh, jeez.
The victim was flown to a nearby hospital and is said to be stable. During their investigation, deputies found 2 body parts in a pink container presumed to have belonged to the victim. Rice had set up a room to look like a surgical center and had medical equipment and painkillers inside, according to a release. A camera was also set up to record the procedure. Von Rice told deputies he had met the victim on the dark web on a site geared toward people who have a castration fetish. In addition, Rice told deputies he had tried to perform the procedure on the victim last week but had to delay. According to a release, Rice told the victim that he had experience on animals and had even removed one of his own testicles in 2012. He also said
He's going for gold.
He also said he had done a similar procedure on a man in a local motel a few years ago. It also did not end well, according to the Highlands County Sheriff's Office. Rice was arrested Monday and charged with practicing medicine without a license, resulting in bodily injury, a second-degree felony. His bond was set at $250,000.
Jesus, that's intense, man.
This one. I think this made the Breakfast Club.
I don't know what that is. Oh, you mean the radio show? Sorry.
Yeah, Charlemagne.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. I found another one. This one's pretty interesting. Polkman, I'm just going to read the headline. Polkman ditches child on the side of the road because he thinks he's gay. Okay, I might read a little bit more. I'm only going to read 2 sentences because I need...
No, bro, the headline's so good.
Okay, you're right. All right. It's actually so good. We're just going to leave it there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and that was yeah.
It'd be so fucked up, but it would literally be hilarious if the kid was like 2. No.
He was under 18 is what he says.
Oh my God, bro. If it was like an infant.
Oh God, this baby is gay. How do you know? He told me. All right, sir.
He was looking at my dick for too long.
This has officially gone off the rails, and I'm here for it.
Don't send me to hell, please.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm here for it because that's what this world needs is a little bit of humor. But it illustrates the point that Florida's pretty crazy, and if you can live there, you can pretty much survive anywhere.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, the most infamous one that I remember was this dude tried to rob a Wendy's with a live gator as a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
He pulled up to the drive-thru and he was like, "Give me all the money." And they were like, "Or what?" And he was like, "I'm gonna throw this gator at you." And he did. And he yeeted a live alligator into the drive-thru window of a Wendy's. I think there's footage of it because someone filmed him being erratic.
That's hilarious.
It's crazy, dude. People get nuts. Oh, hey, we have 30 subscribers on Rec Center.
I peeped today.
That's dope. Thank you to the 30 subscribers out there. That's what's up. I hope you enjoy the content.
And thank you to my fucking 20 TikTok followers, and people shat on me for it. And then I had 100 the other day.
On the same account?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it goes.
A couple months ago, I was like, "Thank you for 20." And people were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Thanking these people." And they're like, "That's weird." I was like, "No, it's not." And then I have 300 now. And then...
Yeah, what the fuck? I mean, people are really weird. I don't understand them, and I don't try. But that's pretty cool, man.
Okay, now that we bring this up, I have to read these comments that I got today. And this shit, because
I'ma air it out, okay? Okay.
I don't know if like hurt is the wrong word, but I was just kind of distraught because I didn't like. I've never gotten this level of comment engagement before, and I didn't expect it now. And the responses just,
I'm here for it.
Some were chill, like so. I asked for honest responses on my music, right? Like I did on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And some were calm, like most of them was kind of hate, but it was whatever. This guy says, "It sounds like a song I've heard on the radio, but can't pinpoint a specific one. Isn't really distinctive. It didn't feel like any of the lyrics held any weight." And this was to Time Kills, and I posted a response. I said, "Can your first TikTok video please be an example of how to put weight on words?" And then my next comment said, "Never heard it." And I was like, "That's why I put it behind this video that you just commented on." And then he went and listened to more and said, "Actually good, TBH." I said, "Thank you." The next one says, "I fucks with it." The next one said, "I thought it was in a different language." That one confused me. And then the one I told you about said, "Rather see you spread open on OF." And that one got the most responses.
I think those are just internet trolls being internet trolls.
No, for sure. But it was just like, the OF one caught me off guard. I'm not gonna lie to you, especially because the person that posted it is like a nun. Like that's what their profile pic is, like a nun.
They're definitely a troll. That's absolutely a troll.
No.
1,000%. 1,000%. Yeah, trolls are everywhere, man. If we want to, dude, I take screenshots of them. I need to put together an album because they're so good. My most recent one was really. Oh my god. My most recent one was really so it was a repeat offender. They came back, and I recognized the name because their comments are so uniquely dumb that I'm like, oh wait, I know you. It wasn't like the name that I remember per se, but it was like the combo of like the insult and the name. I was like, yes, I remember you. And then yeah, and then I always like to greet them. I was like, hey, it's you, and I sent like a kissy face. I was like, I missed you. Where have you been? Because he hasn't been hating on my posts. And I was like, bring it on. Let's go. And he was like, you're trash. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. What are you up to? And he just like couldn't let it go. And I was like, he's like, oh, he was really trying to be hurtful. Let's turn him up. I'm not gonna give out his name, but I'm gonna say some of the shit that he was saying. I was just like, bro, this is too good. I literally can't get over how like
when the hate is creative, I like it. When it's just blatant, it's annoying.
Yeah, so I mean, I was having fun with it, but I was also just like, what are you talking about? Because he was like, bro, I'm just trying to get you to be a real person. I was like, you're not. No, you're not. Okay, here we go. Oh, here we go. It was on my AI post. He goes, imagine being such a sellout that you're promoting something that would render yours and everyone else's art useless and cheap. And I was like, Oh, no, that's not how it started. He started with a comment, his first comment, which is so original. I really honestly had to say something to it. He said, stupid as fuck. Followed by the comment that I just said. So he double commented.
Double down.
And I said, so he said, imagine being such a sellout. And I said, okay, keep imagining, because it's only going to replace the trash that plagues the internet like you. I wasn't having it that day. And he says, right, keep telling yourself that. You do whatever brings you the most clicks. At the end of the day, I can't say that much for myself, and I love that. I said, yeah, you and your 243 followers love you for that. He says, hey, maybe I'm wrong, and it'll replace your bitch-ass influencers like you that pretend to be producers. And he goes, yeah, I don't really care about my follower count, but if you're clinging to that shit like it's dick size. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. You're just sounding like a toddler that just got told no. You're just spitting and babbling in frustration, but I think it's cute. Thanks for the support, baby. And he said, and then I followed that up with, because he kept double commenting. I was trying to comment to both because I'm just like into it. I don't know. I was bored. This is what I do when I'm bored. I comment haters. And I said, because the dick comment really got me going. I said, I mean, if you just want to see my dick, you just got to say that. The answer is no, but at least just be honest that you want it.
Right.
And he says, you joke because you can't actually meet any of my points. That's basically the only thing you have to say. And I was like, you haven't said anything, and I don't argue with people who have nothing to offer. I'm just engaging with you for the algorithm, but I do have to go to work, so keep it up. This is doing really good for the engagement. And he says, you're such a clown. I was like, heart. I don't like what does that do for anyone? I don't understand.
I mean, there's two sides. You're engaging, so you can't blame him entirely. But at the same time,
but like, but why do you? Okay, but think about it from a perspective of someone who doesn't know you, right? So this is where it doesn't make any sense to me. I have never met this person in my life. I've never said anything prior to this in any way that was offensive. Mm-hmm. But unprompted, they say some stupid shit like that because they want attention, clearly. Yeah. Right? But like, where is that coming from? Is that like a lonely thing? Or is that just like they want people to look at their page? Like, what does that do for you as an artist? Like, I'm not here to like shit on people that have low follower count, but I'm also not here to let somebody talk to me about like what I'm doing with my account, because obviously what I'm doing is working. So I'm not going to take any sort of feedback from somebody who doesn't have anything to offer. Like,
I get that. I understand that. But I guess what I'm saying is like, he's only doing it because he's not doing anything else.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
Okay. Making the time, you're becoming him in a sense.
Okay, gotcha. Well, if I wasn't already getting paid to sit and do what I was doing, I would agree. Like if I was actually in the studio working on music, I wouldn't even have my phone out, so I wouldn't be responding to him. But what people don't understand about me is I'm automated for most of my things. So in terms of my responses, I set aside a small window of response time, and I do that, and then I'm done. He just so happened to catch me on my window, and I was like, all right, sweet, I'll entertain this troll. And then when I was done with my window, I left, and that was it. And I haven't said anything since. It's just fun to me because I really do. I want to understand that person, because I don't know if it's coming from a place of pain, boredom, or just like, I don't know. Like
it's coming from a place of
like self-conscious. They don't feel adequate, so they have to tear other people down.
No, bro. It's like the I want to be different syndrome. That's what that is. It's like everybody follows him, so everybody must like him. So I'm gonna be different by hating on him, so I'm cool.
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that. Huh? Wow, that's a really good. I'm glad that I brought that up because I've always wondered. Like, I can speculate all day, but I'm only one person. But that's a really good point. I mean, I'm sure there's. I know that there's more than one way, but that's a really really good reason to be that way. Because I've been like that before when I was younger. I was like, that's cool. I don't like it. Why? Because it's cool.
It's like the same people who like won't listen to anything mainstream, even if it's fire. You know?
I see. Okay, me, dude. That was all. So it's funny to me because, but I would. That's why that's where I stopped. I would think it and I would feel it, but I would never say it to someone. Like I would never go on the internet and be like, "Hey, I think you suck."
Right. But at the same time, like that's the same. How do I put this? He can get closer to you than he can to Deadmau5 if he didn't like Deadmau5. You know what I'm saying? But because he can get closer to you, like his way of saying that to Deadmau5 is not listening to him. But because he has access to you and your IG comments, and he knows that you sometimes respond, and Deadmau5 has X million followers and you have 50 grand, then okay, I have a chance here. I saw some. I don't. It's mainstream. Boom. I hate it. That's only one part.
It's just speculation, yeah. No, but I love it. That gave me a lot of not relief, but that helped me to, because for me, when I can only come up with illogical solutions to things, I'm like, I must be missing something. There must be something because it can't be that deep.
I've gathered that's like because my Instagram is filled with love for the most part. Like there's the occasional hater, kind of like you. Like it's probably if I was looking at your account, it's probably, if I'm taking a guess, like 75 to 85% love, and then the rest.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'd say like 5% hate, if that.
Yeah. So it's very little on IG, but for me on my TikTok, like when I
mine's 50-50, bro.
In fact, like mine is honesty, bro. Like probably 70-30, 70 hate on my TikTok.
Wow, that's aggressive.
But I think the reason is because I think TikTok roots for the underdog in a sense, and I feel like I don't give that off. Like my content doesn't look shitty, and I look good as a person, physically. So like they're like, okay, this guy looks good and his content is nice, so like he's gonna make it. So fuck him. Like I think that's the vibe I get. Where it's like if they were to see somebody like struggle making it, even though I'm just doing it my way, but because I'm doing it my way and that happens to be upper echelon, they don't like it.
Who's that? You said the algorithm?
No, like, yeah, I mean, I guess I don't have a shit ton of followers, but like when I get comments, it's typically on
well, I think the people no I was gonna say the people that are on TikTok, they're a different breed, first off. And secondly, the way that TikTok works is it works the opposite of Instagram. So Instagram, the reason you get so much love is because it shows it to the people that follow you first.
Right, exactly.
And TikTok, it just like throws it out there, and it's like, who likes this? And I think that what that really, for me, and then I want to hear what you have to say. I think what that does is it really does open you up to a much broader audience, and it really does put you in, not in your place, but it really does humble you in a way. And not that everybody's right and what they're saying is valid in any way, but more so, it's nice because there are times where when I get an abundance of love, and I'm so grateful for it, but there are just some times where I need a little bit more honest feedback, we'll say, like the blind spots that are like super, or maybe like, I don't know. I can tell you this right now that I've probably, out of hundreds of interactions with haters, I think there's probably been like 2 or 3 where I've actually walked away with a new perspective and an agreement with the person that was talking shit. They're like, you do this wrong. And I'm like, do I though? And then we would go back and forth and they explained it to me. And I was like, okay, I can see where you're coming from in this instance, that actually might be a better way to do it. So I'm always open to like understand a perspective, but when I can't understand the perspective, that's when I just start getting like, okay, we're not having the same conversation. But I think that it's important to be humbled in that sense, because you're always going to have haters. But I think that if you get too used to the I don't want to call it fake support. It's a different kind of support. Like your friends and
you are within full rights to call it that. Believe me.
Okay.
Because I'm fully aware that the second I seem untouchable, that support from those same people is going to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
I've been aware of that from 200 followers. I've been aware of that. So I don't ever really look at an IG comment or a like or DM like it's real support. I know what real support is. It happens in real life. But the IG shit is like, and there is the social media shit that I would say counts, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
But just because you were liking my posts and commenting that you fuck with me and DMing me and checking on me and saying you like my music for the last year doesn't mean like when I blow up and I don't give a fuck about you because I've never met you and I might like DM you occasionally because you used to support me but not bring you anywhere, not treat you any different type of way, you know, you're gonna be upset.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna give a fuck, you know.
They were there from the beginning though. They got your back.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not gonna just DM like I'm gonna support. I'm gonna fuck with them more than the person who like just came around hypothetically. But that doesn't mean to me like how do I put this? In my life, there are the people who follow, so to speak. There are the people who support, and then there are like the people who become part of my circle, so to speak. You know, so if you don't make it from supporter to circle, I'm not saying you're not worthwhile. I'm not saying I don't appreciate you. I even appreciate the follower. I appreciate it. I'm grateful for every one of these people. But what I'm saying as far as how I'm going to treat you and what I'm going to get, I'm not going to give supporter the circle level of gratefulness. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That I feel like a lot of them might expect and expect more on Instagram, I feel. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I was looking it up here. There's 3 levels to your friendship or your social circle, and I think you kind of explained it really well. That there's the people that know about you, and I guess follow would be a good way to put it. They know about you. They don't know you. They know about you. So they've heard your name, they've heard your music, they've seen your video, whatever.
Right.
That they don't know you, and then you have the people that support you. Right, that was the second one, support.
Right.
And then you have the people that support you. Those are the ones that are there, but they're not the ones that know what you've been through totally, and they're also not the ones that you're gonna call or that are even
exactly.
Yeah.
Nail on the head. I'm not calling you. You know what I mean? Like some people, I've seen it firsthand. Some people, I've done it firsthand. Some people have made it from level to level. Like I have a couple friends who like I met. You would be one. Like I met you online, right? But we're literally like you are within the circle now.
Right.
You've been there or established there, and there's a couple more like from Instagram, some from Web3, etc. Like that's the jump that I'm referring to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I'm not like gonna who's like a Web3 personality we both know, like Banana, whatever his name.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna call him. You know what I mean? Like I don't know him. You know.
Yeah. No.
But shit like that, like he showed support to all of us, but like I don't give a fuck about him.
That's such a good point, though. I really do think that it's well, okay. So it goes back to the thoughts and prayer, like thoughts and prayers thing. Is that really support when you just comment thoughts and prayers?
This is my point.
Yeah.
Like no, bro. Like if I tell somebody or comment on something or swipe up on DM, bro, you were my prayers. Like I'm actually doing that.
I can't do it if I don't. Like I feel like a complete fraud if I say that I've prayed for you and I don't.
Exactly, bro. And I also don't expect you to care. Like if I feel inclined, I'm gonna do it.
Right. Yeah, I'm not like doing it for you to care. I'm doing it essentially for me, if you want to say it like that, because I feel called to pray for you. That's not like I'm praying for you. Look at me, and it seems obvious, exactly. But it's super easy to do because we can all get in that thing as a human that we want people to see that it's It's virtue signaling is what it is. It's saying I'm a good person. Look at me. I support people.
That's a good one.
It's really easy to do in today's day and age, but it comes down to this. This one really gets me, and I think that this kind of ties in with everything. That it's not so big anymore, but I remember, especially during the pandemic, there was a lot of talk about the mental health and talk to people if you're struggling, which I totally agree with and I support and all that. And then there was the Logic song, the 188 song, the suicide hotline song that he made, that it was all around the same time that everybody was talking about supporting mental health, which I think is great. I just feel like it was such a fad that I feel like it was such a fad, and it also didn't allow those that are truly struggling to get the help that they need. All it did was kind of like highlight it and then move on. It did, for me, I definitely don't, for example, mental health didn't get any cheaper through that. And right. I can tell you right now, and this is what I was getting at, I don't even know how many people I could actually call if I was like emotionally struggling, other than like 3 people, because I mean, definitely I know that you would be one of them, and then I wouldn't need to call my wife because she's here, but just real, not related to me or in any way in terms of law or blood. I really don't know that many people that I could call that if I was in some sort of pinch and I needed help, either emotionally or just needed to talk to somebody. And I think that I'm not alone. Well, I know I'm not alone, and I think that there's a majority of people that are in the same situation where they've been told, "Hey, if you need a friend, you can call me." But what would that person actually do if you called? Would they pick up? I mean, and if they do, what are they going to say? I'm sorry?
It's a great fucking point, bro.
It's going to be different for everyone, but I struggle with that because there have been times where people have said, I'm here for you if you need to talk. And I wish I could have gone to them and opened up, but that thought just kept hitting my brain. I was like, okay, but what are you going to do for me? It's not like, and I understand that talking to someone and hearing me out, but we don't know each other like that. You weren't there when the thing that caused me to trauma happened.
This is my problem, because these people will come and they'll say they can be that person for you because they want to skip this. They want to skip the hard part.
Damn. Yeah, the hard part.
You know. I've done that in a different type of way, and I actually had to learn on my own from multiple, call them mistakes of me. Like, I put so for a long time I was like, well, a long time is relative in life, but for a while, like after my first long-term girlfriend, I was basically on like fuck what a bitch feel mode.
Of course, yeah.
For me,
savage mode.
And when I stopped worrying about just fucking the whole period and started worrying about myself, and that was like its own phase where I'm not really doing shit but working on me. And then the phase after that comes where I'm like, okay, let me like only fuck with somebody that deserves my time. And then you have to like learn what that is and how to love yourself and yada yada. But that's like the next phase of self-development, right? I'm doing okay now. But at that beginning stage, right, there was I think 3 or 4 girls who I put too good of a foot forward for when I hadn't spent long enough time with them. But I was like, oh, I like you, and then I just gave them this, and then when the old me popped back out, it was like it didn't make sense. It was unreasonable, and it was like I was in the wrong because I put forward a foot that I should have been able to step with. I should have been able to continue stepping down that path. But I pivoted. I went like, huh, you know what I mean? Like that. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, yeah, I feel like you almost have to do that to know where you have to step off the sidewalk to know the grass is. I mean, right?
Yeah.
I think that, but to your point, I think we often will put too much into others because we want that so badly, and we think that person can be there for us, or that person can be this thing for us, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be somebody that can I can talk to. It maybe they're the place that you go. They just have a house that you go to, or maybe they're the person that you can meet at this place. I don't know. I feel like, and I was just talking about this the other day with my wife too. If you think back, the things that you are willing to look past when you are, I don't want to use the word in love. I don't like that. But when you're severely attracted to somebody, whatever that means.
No, I will be the first person to blanking on the word, but fucking agree. You know what I mean? Like, if
maybe lust. I don't know if lust is strong enough, but like an extreme lust.
Some people, put it like this: the people I've seen it for. I'm trying not to be crude, but like, if you're not that experienced, lust is a big thing, you know.
Yeah.
But what I noticed with these people, and then what I've noticed with this person I'm with now, is that I was absolutely like, it's not even that I looked past it. It's like I didn't know about it because I didn't even think to look that direction yet. You know what I mean? Or like, because I was like, oh, I really like these qualities. I wasn't getting these qualities. It was like a smaller bracket of people. Like, I wasn't getting these qualities from these stupid hoes over here. Great. I love you. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like that. But I think after doing that a couple times and being like, I'm sorry, I got to the point where like somebody literally just told me they love me dead to my face, and I'm like, I'm sorry.
I don't know what to tell you.
I couldn't, but that was the right thing to do, because I'm not gonna lie to you, but I shouldn't have even I shouldn't have made her feel that way, because I couldn't reciprocate, you know, and I felt bad.
That's extremely mature.
But what I learned through that experience is that, well, one, I learned what to look for, right? And I learned that there are certain things that, like, I'm not just satisfied by the bare minimum of better than average anymore. You know, like, and I've had this conversation in depth with this new person, and she fully exemplifies it in that, like, she is a real person who has lived a life has a past and makes the occasional mistake. Great, everybody's human, right? But I hold myself and I hold her to like wildly high standards, and she appreciates it. She responds to it because she does it for herself too. You know what I mean? So it's like that's for me. That's who I need around. That's the type of person. That's the type of person I need. And it didn't mesh with the other people, probably because I didn't know how to do it yet. And with the person right before her, it was like, I remember telling you like about this relationship a little bit, but it was kind of like that was the blueprint without the other builder that I needed, if that makes sense. Like she was like, she had the blueprint. She just like set the shit down and expected me to just build with nothing, you know?
And then when you met another builder, you were like, let's build this shit.
I took the blueprint. Like, this blueprint makes perfect sense. This is the one. Awesome. Let's go to this new person who's never experienced this blueprint, but every inch that I take with them shows me they're capable of building with me. Okay, great. Here's the blueprint. You fuck with it. Let's go. No,
that's so sick. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I really think that I have 2 points. I think it's important to understand the more that you go through these things. By the way, you just basically defined dating. You're like, oh man, I'm hanging out with people, figuring out what I like and don't like. Yeah, that's dating.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, I'm just, I like to make observations. But also, I heard a quote once, and it was a mind bender. I don't know why this made me think of this, but obviously I feel compelled to share it. So it was talking about why people have affairs. I don't remember where it was, but it was why married. I don't know if it was men or women. I don't think it was specific. I think it was just like why people cheat and shit in marriages. And basically, the one of the things I took away from it was that when in a relationship, oftentimes when you're in a relationship for a longer period of time, there will be this, we'll call it 20 to 30% of this person that you just don't vibe with. Let's say that's just part of being human. Like there's like 20% of things that you don't necessarily either agree with or like, or just whatever. Like people are going to annoy you, especially if you live with them for long enough. It's just matters of fact. Right. You choose to ignore whatever it is. But let's say someone else comes along and they do everything that they do the opposite of everything that you hate with that person. So you end up being like, ooh, shiny, and you leave. But what you end up finding out when you leave is that person only had the 20% and that they're missing the other 80. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Dude. And that goes back to my point of like, you can be blinded by this feeling, this intense feeling of attraction, we'll call it, and you will look past everything, including like infidelity. You'll look past like wrecking relationships. You'll look past extreme red flags. Like I can tell you so many times, and I don't remember what prompted this thought previously or last night or whatever, but I vividly remember so many times where I was like, this is a good idea. And then looking back at it, I was like, what was that? No, what that I thought that was a good idea. Holy shit. Like, dude, I literally had a cop tell me, he was like, you need to stop seeing this girl. And the girl was standing right there. He was like, you guys need to stop seeing each other. And he was like, yeah, you need to leave this girl alone. And I was just like, what? It has nothing to do with me. And he was like, yeah, but she's bad news, bro. Just leave. And I was like, this is my house. And he was like, yeah, no, but I just don't see her anymore. And I'm like, all right. But looking back, I was like, dude, he was right. He saw that. He saw the writing on the wall. And he was like, this idiot is so blinded.
Oh my God, bro. What? The cop gave you dating advice.
No, well, but I'll give you the really short abridged version. But basically what ended up happening is I was talking to this girl, and apparently her ex-boyfriend like tapped her phone and like swapped it to where he had access to her messages and like apps and stuff. So like DMs, all that shit. He cloned, spoofed her phone, basically like mirrored it. They installed a mirror app and they were able to mirror their phone and like go on their phone and like look at all the shit. I didn't find this out till like later, but that person ended up finding out where I was at and like keying my car while I was sleeping, like that while that girl was at my house. I woke up the next morning, there was like, and then they would like DM me and they'd be like, yo, go check your car. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? So I called the cops, obviously, because I was like, I know who this is. And they're like, what do you want us to do about it? I was like, fucking stop it. They're like, go park your car somewhere else. I was like, that doesn't help. And he was like, okay, then stop seeing this girl. I don't know what to tell you. I'm like, okay, sure. I mean, I did, because the dude keyed my car not once, not twice, but 3 fucking times. And I was like, we're done here. You got to get the fuck out of my life. I can't do this. I'm sorry. But yeah.
Oh, that's aggressive, bro. Damn.
And it was, looking back again, I'm like, for what?
Right.
First off, that girl had nothing that I wanted. I was just like, shiny. But it was
right.
It was. But again, back to the point. I could go off on tangents there, but it's super super crazy what we'll do, and I think that can be said not just for lust and for extreme attraction. I think that can be also said, and this kind of like hints at addiction, but I think it could be said for anything that you have to have an extreme need, we'll call it. When you start to put that level of gravity on anything, whether it be like, I mean, it can be NFTs, it can be like stocks, it can be investments, things that are good for you that can help you, but you can get overboard. It can be obviously the obvious ones like eating, all these other things, but I feel like it can be, you can really just convince yourself in the moment that everything's okay, but then you look back and you're like, bro, like I think we started this conversation talking about how like looking back and stuff like that and just having different insight, but yeah. I really think that it's important to bring it up, because the more I become more aware of my unconscious behavior, the more I can do to either prevent triggers or become aware of triggers and stop myself. Whether,
Facts.
But
to that point, something I've realized I kind of known maybe for a while, but tried to practice more recently, is that like, to this point, this subconscious thinking, of whatever those, like, people call them intrusive thoughts.
My wife will say that. My wife says them all the time.
Right. So I feel like, and I've tried to do this, and it does work, even though it's hard sometimes for me. I will have a logical thought based on a whatever, followed by an intrusive thought that usually is centered around like doubt, typically doubt or fear.
Okay.
Like it's the like, you don't really believe that, you don't really think that.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the other voice. It's the devil in your shoulder. It's like you're not
right.
You're not that good.
So what I try to do is, rather than, like, some people get those thoughts and then like a step above just accepting and be like, is getting a thought like that and saying, okay, what would I do in this scenario? Right?
What do you mean? What
Okay.
scenario? Like, what do you mean?
Like, your devil on your shoulder gives you worst case scenario, and then you plan out, all right, fuck it, what am I going to do?
Yeah. Okay.
What am I going to do in this scenario so I'm okay if this happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. That's is sometimes can be useful. To me, I try to practice another level of self-love, I'll call it, where I'm like, that literally isn't going to happen because I don't deserve that. Like, I put too much good out into the world and I'm making the right choices. And when this thing goes the way it's supposed to go, this is what I'll do. If it doesn't, whatever. But I'm not even going to prepare for it not going my way. I'll be able to respond in the moment, but I'm going to prepare for it going my way. You know?
Yeah, I mean, that's...
And it usually, like, that tends to work out, even just as far as, like, easing my mind. You know what I mean? But almost always, when I feed into that worst case scenario, the worst case scenario, or not the worst case scenario is true, but a version of it, a more mundane version of it tends to be true when I feed into it, even if I don't act on it at all. When I feed into the thought, it turns out true. And when I don't, it turns out false.
Have you heard the story of the two wolves?
No, what's the two wolves?
Everybody has two wolves fighting inside of them. One is confidence, and one is doubt. And do you know which one wins?
Whichever one you feed more?
Yeah. It's just, I mean, I think that it's also all the life cliches piling up on top of each other. When all you can think about is a pink elephant, or when all you try to do is not think of a pink elephant, then that's all you think about. That's another example. And then another example would be if you're ever like skiing and you're ever trying to avoid the trees, don't look at the trees because you're just going to hit the trees because it's all you're thinking about. You're focused on the problem, not the opposite. So
exactly. Like, think best case scenario.
Well, I've seen it happen. And this is something I'm just really into this complexities of social behavior and communication and stuff. So I pay hyper attention to this, but fuck, I just lost my train of thought. What was the last thing that was just said?
We were talking about not thinking about the worst case scenario.
Oh, that. Okay, perfect. So I've seen it happen in social situations where when you're trying not to upset someone, for example, you almost always end up upsetting that person because they can tell. It's weird.
Oh, facts. Yep.
You know, if you're trying to not be whatever nervous, that like your hands start to sweat because you're trying not to be nervous.
It comes from that same exact place, though. It's like, don't just control the material, control the energy, and that's when you actually control it.
So that's one way to do it. There's obviously more than one way to do it. Another way that you can add on to that is to just fuck. My brain is officially done. I don't know. I can't say anything else because I had it in an image. But anyway, do you want to?
I saw it go away. I felt so bad. I was like, no.
It literally left. It was like, but it's what happens at this time of day. It's only 9.
There's always more than one way to do things.
Yeah. Do you want to play this track? We don't have any submissions. I checked.
Yeah, you literally read my mind. Go ahead.
Sick. All right. I'm going to share with you because I don't think I did that.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's an unreleased Clowny the Weatherman exclusive that will not be out for someone's enjoy.
Okay, so we're going to do music.
Enjoy.
And then go back here.
I love this GIF so much. I don't know why.
Which one? Nope. Yeah, that's a good one. The other one is, I think a lot of Bugs Bunny memes where it's a Russian thing and it says, "This is mine," and he goes, "Ours," and he has like his hands like this and he's like, "Ours." And then my ultimate favorite one is Goofy, where he's all tweaked out and he goes, "And I'll fucking do it again." Have you seen that one? It's so good.
Yo, that one used to remind me of that Ronald McDonald shit that I showed you.
Oh my god, yes. I will never forget. By far my favorite thing that you showed me was the rap battle. I'm not a rapper.
Super hot fire.
I'm not a rapper. Beam, boom, bam, boom, bam. Oh! He's not a rapper though.
Oh my god, bro, I love that man. He's my inspiration.
I always wondered. I don't know who it was, but I was sitting there and I was recording with somebody and they kept saying, "I'm not a rapper though," and I'm like, "Why are you saying that shit? Stop." I think it was on a Spaces. It was on one of the Possessed Got Pipes. I don't know if it was like Nelly or something like that, but they were like, "I'm not a rapper." I'm like, why does he keep saying that? But now I know, because Super Hot Fire.
He's the voice known around the world.
Legend. All right, that is true. I'm gonna double tap. Let's see. Open.
Bing, boop, bing, bing, boop.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
I gotta make sure that they can hear it too. No, they can't. Hold on. I gotta share. Ooh, that's raw. No, there's raw auto-tune on it. I couldn't tell.
There's no tune on. Maybe there's tune on that specific part. I don't know. It's super raw, bro.
Okay.
So y'all, this is the rawest you gonna ever hear my music, by the way.
We love it. Okay. Oh,
and it's still fire.
So just wait. All right. One more time. Let me hit play. It better be working.
Yeah, baby. I'm impressive. I don't care about first impressions. She said I love you, like that's not what I expected. I used to be insecure, wonder why I'm fighting with this bitch. Why do I keep trying with this bitch? Why do I keep buying shit for this bitch? I'm a lying, now I'm honest. Whole time she was crying, tell me about it. You told me you would die if I left you stranded. I'd be mad if I was you, it's cool. Maybe the answer was me times you. Used to trap out the van like Scooby-Doo. Chickens, oinks, free the famines, fuck all the oinks. She would choose me if you gave her a choice. I'm in your ear cause God gave me a voice. I'm trying to look at the stars in a Royce and a roll. I give a fuck about a hoe. I'm from the city where nobody know how to act, but everybody wanna roll. Breaking the bag, she told me her daddy was hooked on crack, that's why she a hoe. Saw through the bitch so fast like she made of glass, but I could turn glass into gold. Baby, I know you want me around, but don't be mad at me. Don't be hard to reach. Give me all of you, I'll give you all of me. Whoa, make sure my bitch a boss. CEO getting her salad tossed. I can't hate nobody at all. When you start cooking, they steal your sauce. Protect your heart or they'll take your pulse. Protect your soul, cause it's all you got. I'm telling you, just listen. Feel like cooking you back to the fish. Put you right back when you ain't have a vision. I done gave you everything that you missing. You told me that I already knew that I was
that's the one.
Everything I go past. I figured out how to make music and how to make money, and I ain't look back since. I can tell that you mad at me, baby. Don't look at me like you don't love me, cause I leave fast. I done hit classy bitches from the highest to classes and ratchet bitches from the rags. Okay, if you don't wanna wait around for me, baby, then don't wait. But please don't let me scare you away. If you don't feel like making me your home, then don't stay. I just want you to feel okay. I'm impressive, I don't care about first impressions. She said I love you, like that's not what I expected. I used to be insecure, wonder why I'm fighting with this bitch. Why do I keep trying with this bitch? Why do I keep buying shit for this bitch? Whole time I was lying, now I'm honest. Whole time she was crying, tell me about it. You told me you would die if I left you stranded. I'd be mad if I was you, it's cool. Maybe the answer was me times you.
Yep. Love it. That's good,
Thank
man.
you.
Yeah, I like the auto-tune whine.
Yeah.
I'm crying. Yeah. I mean, definitely. That's awesome.
That one bar made me crack up too when I said it.
Dude, I told you, when I listen to music like that, when I listen to rap, especially when it's newer and it's of substance, I have to listen to lyrics and I just let it go. Like the Rolls Royce and then Most Just Want to Roll, that was a good one too. Like I could see that, but then when you said the salad, I was like, I had a great image and now I have a better one. This is it. Like for me, I just imagine like a music video of you just like coming up out of a girl's butt, like just, with sunglasses on, like rapping still. Like, you come out of that, and you're like tossing salad
with like a fork and a spoon.
Yeah, doing this. But you're hard as fuck rapping, just. Dude, the innuendos would be so good. Just like,
oh my God.
What is he doing? Oh, what? I'm just. Like the camera's coming in, like it's slowly panning, or not panning, it's slowly zooming in. And it goes past and they're like, yo! What the fuck? Oh, I'm so glad I shared that because that's exactly what I thought.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well, I can't wait for that video. That's for sure. Anyway, I'll just have to make an animated one if you don't end up filming one.
I'm so with it.
Hell yeah, bro. Well, all right. My cup's empty. I gotta go fill it up, both metaphorically and literally. So I'm gonna sign off, but I'll see you soon, brother. Talk to you soon,
All
y'all.
right, man. Hope y'all enjoy.